Of course, when you get over here, y'all eating fufu and banku and goosey and polo, and it's like yam chips. I want me some yam chips. I don't want none of that, French fry stuff. They've been lying to me my whole life. The real French fry is the yam chip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome again, ladies.
Thank you.
To Tabletop Real Talk, and let me introduce you guys again. We have Acushla and Davida.
Yes.
All right. So today's question is marriage a cultural, traditional, or religious thing?
I think it can be all three.
I agree with you.
I think some people everybody gets married for a different reason. I think maybe in some cultures it's pushed more. I also believe that in those cultures, because of tradition, that's probably why it's pushed more. And I also believe that, I don't even know, what's your religion, if you don't mind my asking?
I'm Christian.
Okay,
yeah.
Same. So, as a Christian, you're taught that, it's a sacred bond between man and woman and God, and, it's better to marry than burn, and, these scriptures and things like that. So I think it can be all three. It just really, I feel like, depends what the individuals who are in the marriage, what they feel.
I think the bigger question here is marriage necessary?
Is it necessary?
That is the question we should be looking at.
Culturally, is it necessary?
Religiously, is it necessary?
So religiously is definitely,
traditionally,
like definitely most religions would probably say it's necessary. I guess the question would be why, right? So like I said, with that scripture, it's better to marry than burn. They're coming from, I think, a point of view of like, instead of committing fornication, it's better to marry than, go to hell. And it's like, but do I want to just marry someone? So I'm just talking about referring to religion. Do I want to just marry someone because I'm a Christian, because I want to have sex, and then divorce after the sex is bad, or after the marriage didn't go well? You know what I mean? Because I only got married to do the sex thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you feel about that as far as
I think that's a very
religion?
Interesting point of view you brought. I think, to be honest with you, on the issue of marriage, it's very subjective. Even with religion, like with Christians would be monogamous. But if it was Islam, it would be polygamous, right? And different religions have different expectations of marriage and so on and so forth. So I think discussing marriage in that context, but if we focus more on whether or not it is necessary, I think with regards to religion, it's more of a morality basis. These decisions are based on morality, and once again, morality is subjective. It's subjective on what the society at that time feels is morally right or morally wrong. You see, so it depends. It depends.
Because at one point in the States, black people could marry white people. I think South Africa apartheid, right? So it was like literally illegal. So what you said, I like what you said about what's morally acceptable at that time in the world, that year, that decade, that 100-year time span. Yeah, you have to look at all of that.
And also too, based on that particular development, it does not necessarily mean that impact is good or not. So you see, in Ghana, maybe perhaps we don't have racism and such, but we have a lot of ethnocentrism, where certain tribes feel they are more important or they're more significant to the following or the development of the history of that particular country. And as a result of that thought, they think that their tribe takes precedence of other people's tribes. So you find that there are certain families,
like which tribes?
I'm not going to go there. I will not go there.
Hey, don't try to throw no curveballs now. Wait a minute.
I'm not going to go there, but there are certain, like my family, for instance. My dad is Asante, my mom is Kwewu, so very Akan. They've warned me since I was a child that I shouldn't bring an Ewe man home.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, I know. They've
you
warned
me. You must be Ewe.
No.
Wait, hold on. Why do you think I'm Ewe?
No, I'm just saying it was just because. That's sad. Wait, what are you trying to tell us?
We have a story in common. That's why he's referring to
Well,
that.
that's interesting. So, like, why though? So, like, why
It's
not
historical.
airway? Because, of course, I don't know the difference between, you know what I mean, between any of them.
Yeah.
So, why not? Or could you give us like just a little?
Yes, I can. Okay, so as an Asante, you know, historically speaking, Asantes were the most powerful tribe. Before the British came in and dismantled the whole thing. And it wasn't just that. The Asantes were dominant over all other non-Akan tribes, especially the Northerners. So the Northerners were enslaved. So unfortunately, there's that mentality that, let's say, I don't have that too. No, but some people say that, please. I just want to be clear. Yeah, I don't want that. No, I mean, I don't have that. But there's that mentality that perhaps Ashantis are superior to the Northerners. And I remember this incident. It was my dad that told me. My dad was picking a bus to Ademsu from Kumasi, and there was an incident in the car where so the Northerners, they have a lot of, not all of them, but some tribes have a lot of tribal marks. Yes. Very visible tribal marks. And in the bus, the Northerner or the individual came in and was trying to find a place to sit. And there was one old woman that he wanted to sit with. And the woman was like, even the word she used, I can't even say here because it's not family friendly. It's not family friendly.
No problem.
So she was like, don't come and sit beside me. Don't come and sit beside me. And then people like you cannot sit beside me. Then 2023, this happened like a month or so ago. Stuff like this are happening. They keep happening. And we have families that continue to push this narrative of, we are from this tribe, so we should marry from this tribe. Right. That is more socially acceptable. But something like that, it's wrong because it's based on a historical precedent. That happened years and years and years ago. That to be honest with you, if we're supposed to be very, very objective about it, that ideally the Asantes should apologize to the Northerners for everything that has happened and work towards, well, we, in this country, we're not going to have that conversation. It's not going to happen.
So no 40 acres and the mule for the.
You know, in Kumasi they call their is it a Northerners? Is it Teni or something?
Yeah, I'm not saying it.
Yeah. But I honestly don't know what that means. But that's just by the way.
So it's like that. It's very prevalent. If you came from a prominent Akan family, let me use Akan. It's more generic. It would be natural for you not to get married to another tribe. Maybe you have to marry within the Akan. Maybe Ikriapim, maybe Achim, it's okay. Kwewu is okay. Wow. But our North Gan,
maybe,
kinda, So it's
and that's sad that you see that and this is, I mean, really, I don't know, off topic, kinda, but. Until we come together, other people will never accept us as. So you have people from different tribes, literally all from the same place, cousins selling cousins or cousins enslaving cousins, right? And then, you want to fight against someone who comes over from a totally different place and tries to take over your land and your culture and your people, which is just bizarre. But until you can come together, so... maybe if the Ashantis had come together with the Aways, maybe the British wouldn't have been over here taking people.
Probably.
Perhaps.
You know what I mean? Like that's very interesting.
Perhaps.
And
actually, from another thing I'd also like to speak on is, you see, Black Americans have really come to terms with slavery and the effects that slavery had on their civilization and their progression. We haven't.
Oh yeah, no, we're not gonna talk about cousins selling cousins.
We haven't. No. We haven't even begun the process of talking about how slavery impacted our educational system, impacted our family system, impacted almost every aspect of our social, political, economic. We haven't even begun that process.
To have that conversation.
Jamestown.
I know where the lighthouse is.
Yes, that was the seat of government until I think 2014 or so. 2008. I'll have to check.
You mean the Christian Broadcaster?
The Christian Broadcaster.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
But that's not Jamestown.
It's what?
That's Christian Bokas also.
Okay, thank you. So the Christianborg Castle, it was a seat of government until...
That was Kufuor's time. He was moved. That's when. That's a 2008 year.
2008.
Yeah, about.
See how late it was. And the Christianborg Castle was a prime facilitator of the transportation of slaves. Yeah. We haven't even begun.
Yeah, to have that conversation.
Yeah.
And when you look at like marriage, as far as whether or not it's important to culture, not so much if it's important, but just like what it means to culture, or I think that for me it's interesting as an African American woman growing up in a society that, you know, blackness is maybe not like priority number one. It probably never will be. I mean, I'll be long gone if it ever comes true. But we don't really know our history. And so then I want to get into a marriage, and I mean, you can trace back so far. So like, I know my folks are from Mississippi, but that's like, you know, grandma, great grandma. And it's like past that, you don't know, right? And so then, you know, you get with, you know, a man who is the same, you know, my folks are from California. It's like, no, that's just where y'all migrated to.
But
like,
you can take an ancestry test.
Okay. So now I'm going to just say something and y'all go with me. So I'm going to spit on a stick. I'm going to put it in plastic. And I'm going to send it to the lab. And they're going to tell me where I'm from. Okay. Now, is it fun to do? Absolutely, I did it. You know, this is not a commercial.
You've done it.
You know what I mean? But yeah, so I did it just to see, right? Like, because you just want to see. And they have different ones. They're not all the same. But literally the DNA changes. So like I remember originally when I did it, this was years ago, probably at least 4 years ago. I think originally I was at like almost 30% Togolese. And that was like the biggest percentage for me. So they have like 2% Wales and, you know, 14% Nigeria and blah, blah, blah. And it breaks down regions as far as like, okay, this is where, you know, your spit, I guess, and all the other people that also gave us some spit. We put the spit together, and, you know, the saliva showed us that, like, it just doesn't make, and I don't trust anything that's not something that's documented with our people, because what I feel like is like, this is just a ploy to get some money. Is it fun to do? Absolutely. Should you do it? If you feel like you want to, do I believe it? Not necessarily, because DNA does not change. You know what I mean? And so literally, now if you look at my chart, it's like 25% Nigerian, and now Togolese is at, you know, 5% or something. I'm like, how? Like, this some more cousins spit, and you found out that they, like, it just doesn't make sense. So, but that's, you know, my saliva story. But but when you look at, you know, like marriage, it's like you want somebody who knows, because like I said before, when you don't know where you come from and you're having certain conversations, and, you know, to move forward, it can make it difficult. You know what I mean? Like, what do you teach your children about their culture? All they know is Mississippi in America. Like, I can't say, you know, let's take a trip to Togo and eat some of the food and, you know, be with the people and try to learn some, well, I'm going to say French because that's, you know, who colonized them, but I'm saying whatever the language is, you know, over there. And so
they speak Ewe.
Ewe.
Yeah.
Okay. See, like, come on, like, let's speak some of that. So, you know, it's sad, but then it, you know, it makes it difficult, I feel like, to move forward if people are not knowing where they come from. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but then back to the question. So we've looked at whether it's religiously necessary. That one, yeah, it's
necessary.
Yeah.
in most religions, yeah.
Yeah, but how about culturally? And when we're talking about culture, I don't want us to just limit it to, let's say, the geographical culture. No, like right now you have the worldwide culture, something that we can all tap into and all relate to. So culturally speaking, on that level, would you say that marriage is
so
necessary?
Now you want to talk about generations. That's what I feel like. That's where I feel like we're going.
Okay.
I think generationally, our generation has, and I don't know, I don't want to put your age out here. I'm trying to do math. So generationally, I would say that probably there's like you see it rising, kinda, like a spark in marriages, right? But then you also see divorce rising. And so it's like, will the numbers just continue to rise together or what? I would like to see marriage, increase and divorce decrease, but I guess sometimes divorce is necessary. But I think generationally, I think we're coming up with our own definition of what the construct of marriage means to like us. Yeah. So maybe we don't legally go to the court and make it a legal official marriage, but maybe we live together, we have children together, we decide to be monogamous, we raise our family or whatever, and maybe we never document it. You know what I mean? And maybe that's acceptable, in our generation. What I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's a very interesting point of view you put forward. Mm-hmm. And you see, touching on what you said, generationally speaking, about people redefining the social construct of what long-term partnership is. I think it's very long-term, interesting, very, very interesting. Legally speaking, in certain countries, marriage is more risky or expensive or
really
like I don't know how to explain it. Like, I mean, the long-term benefits of getting married are less than not getting married. For example, let me give you this example. Germany. I have a client whose daughter is.
When you say client, like, do you mean like a US come or something?
You gonna start coming for her like this on this little gray couch. What do you do?
I tutor. I'm an ESL tutor.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
So I still
thank you.
Yeah,
no scams. All right. Thank you. Let's get it.
Well, this should get out of the way first.
So her daughter is in Germany right now, and she is in a long-term relationship with her partner, and they're not getting married, and they have no intention of getting married.
And when you say long term, honey, how long is long? Because some people's definition of long time.
Very, very
We've been
long.
together 4 months. It's long.
Yeah.
4 months. We've been together 2 years. We together a week.
Okay.
So some people is
Let
long,
me say potential.
Okay.
Let me say
potentially.
Potential.
Got it.
Yes.
I like how you put that. Yes, that clarifier on.
Thank you.
Yes, it's very good.
So the reason why they're not getting married is because in Germany, the government taxes the income of the working spouse. Ooh. Yes. So if one spouse is working, the government taxes. I don't know exactly the percentage, but I heard it's quite high. So the government taxes the husband, and then the government taxes the wife as well.
That's if both of them are working.
Yes, that's if both of them are working.
Okay.
And according to her, the percentage of these taxes are so much that it makes more financial sense for one person to work and one person to be the domestic caregiver.
Person.
Yes. Mm-hmm. But you know how social dynamics have changed, and what naturally you would expect that the man would work and then the woman would stay at home. Most families opt not for that. Yeah. So in the case where it's just we're not married, you can work and then you can work and the tax deduction is less. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now it's one of two things. It's either one of you doesn't work, or you guys don't get married. Yes. So in a situation like that, you will find that girls who want to have a full career, want to be able to achieve their aspirations, will choose not to get married.
Yeah, for finance. So look, is marriage financial, cultural, religious? Because now you're adding, more to the conversation about. And I mean, finances. That's definitely part of. I guess I call them the elites. Financially, spiritually, emotionally, religiously. Now, you know what I mean. Traditionally, culturally,
all the leads,
all the elites. Financially, and I hear in America, you can file taxes separate. You can file taxes together. If you're married or whatever, and if you are not married, then you file single, and that's that. Or head of household, meaning maybe you're a single parent, you have children living with you. Or you are a caregiver. So if you have your parents or whomever you're giving care to, you can file head of household for that. But it's very interesting because there is a high tax when it comes to, two people working. Mm-hmm. But see, in America, it's it doesn't matter. If you're making a lot of money, period, we gonna tax you. Like that's just it. Don't matter if you married, if you single, they don't care. It's like whoever getting money, we want some. Period. So but it's interesting that's like Germany's
that's
rule.
Germany.
You know what I mean? Like I've never heard that. That's very interesting. And I mean when it comes to finances, it is a certain conversation that you have to have, right? That it almost brings it back to culture and tradition. So traditionally, women are stay at home. The man is the head of household. He's bringing in the majority of the money. Not saying that the woman cannot cook some wache and
you like wache?
I love wache and wagashi. Okay, but and polo.
Polo.
Yes, there you go.
Okay.
From Aburi Pacific. You can't be giving me this Accra polo. It's not the same. Okay, moving on. So if she's, so that's still making money, right? But it's not the amount of money that if he was in a full career or what have you, the money is not going to be the same. Yeah. And so then, traditionally when you look at marriage, so for years before women had, now I don't know what year women got rights in Ghana, but for a long time.
You see that development, you see the timeline on this is very iffy, and part of the reason why I feel like people that study African history should be more patient with Africans. You see, when you're studying feminism, American feminism, European feminism, the timeline it works 1920s, 1950s.
Yeah, there's a law that was passed.
You have all of that. We don't have that here.
So y'all still don't have no rights?
No, we adopted from the common law.
Okay.
Yes. So it's basically an adaptation of it.
Right. Right. Okay. So Okay.
Yeah. So it's not unique to our situation. No, it's just something we copied from our colonial masters because at that time it made sense. And since we copied that, we haven't yet made rectifications to reflect the growth that our society has experienced.
And so
that is a challenge.
And that's an issue because then it stunts women's growth. So then I don't have a choice, right? But not that I don't have a choice. Let me not say that. If the 5 choices are get married, be a stay-at-home mom and wife, and your husband works and takes care of everything. Try to sell my body. I don't know, sell wache on the streets. Go to uni and still struggle and not make what a man makes when it comes to the same exact job with the same exact experience. Well, then, which one is the easiest? First of all, who would want something that would make them struggle?
Yes.
Right? Like nobody's really trying to pick that. Most people are not trying to pick that route. So, it's a conversation that would need to be had as far as what is Ghana doing as far as progressively pushing women forward in certain careers, in certain roles, in certain jobs, just in certain circles. You know what I mean? Now, still in America, women make however much less. I mean, we would have to research that. But still to the dollar, if a man makes $1 per hour for the same job, same experience, women are, I think it's at 75%. So we would make 75 cents to their dollar. Maybe it's 80 cents now. I don't know. Don't take my word for it. But it's not the dollar. And so if we're doing the same exact job, then we would need to have a conversation. And it does, bring up back in the day, marriage was almost a safety net for women. I know if I get married, I'm going to have a roof. I'm going to have clothes. I'm going to have food. He might not be the best looking or the nicest guy, but my needs are met. And that's sad that somebody would have to choose to be in a marriage maybe that's not serving them, but because they want a roof over their head, they don't want to be on the street, they would choose that.
I want to ask you something based on that, what you just said right now. So you see, these days online, the discussion is what do women bring to the table, what do men bring to the table, all this, all that,
Keep going. This is good.
Yeah. So my question now is, do you think that in most cases, when a woman is making decisions about who her long-term partner should be, most of the time, that decision is based on who can give her most the most secure future, safety in terms of financial safety, economic safety. This. So much so that you find that I don't want to, but you find that a lot of pretty girls, like really, really fine girls, get married to like,
10,
ugly men,
12,
very ugly men. But the reason why they're getting married is because the man has money. And perhaps the reason why that beautiful girl chose him was because at that time she felt that he could give her the security that she needed. So what I want to know is, do you think that most of the time, like when it comes to the thought process of selecting said partner, that decision hinges on the possible security that they could gain from that relationship?
Well, so first of all, I think beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So we can't say who is more sexy than someone else.
Okay.
But I do, so just looking at it as a whole, I feel like the word security, right, to you might be different than me, right? So what I feel is secure, you might not feel. So I think that women and people in general, so I'm not even just gonna say women, because I mean men don't want, a woman who's not going to come in and do whatever it is that they feel that need needs to be met, right? So whatever that need is, if this person's coming in, this is what I need you to do to help us grow, build, support, whatever. And the same thing for the woman. If I feel that for me security is you have business smartness, you have a business mentality, a business, well then I want you to come in and I want you to help me start a business. Well then I'm okay with marrying you because I know that together, right, with whatever I got going on, whatever you got, we can build a business. That's security. To someone else, well, I don't need nothing about no business. I need you to come in and make sure that, the kids are okay. I'm a woman. I don't mind working. I just want you to be a stay-at-home dad, and for that woman and that man, that's security. You know what I mean? So I think that it just depends on the person. I think it depends on what the couple is trying to achieve. And I think it also depends on, just when it comes to like culture and, tradition. Well, culturally, I was taught that I didn't have to work. I'm from Asante, honey. I'm chilling. You know what I mean? Man he got to get that money.
Yeah.
And he got to buy me the Fendi book bag that I wanted too. He came. He got
the Birkin bag.
You know what I mean? Right? So, and that's how I was raised. And so maybe I haven't broadened my horizons to, having a career. I went to university to find a husband. That's what that's what I'm here for. I'm smart. Yeah, but I would rather have that Birkin bag. So I think it just depends on, what the two people are looking for when they find each other. And that's the conversation I feel like a lot of couples need to be out here having.
Yeah. Okay. I have another one. Culturally speaking, so, with the Asante culture, we are very opulent, very extravagant, where we can see that
Come on, Birkin. Go ahead, I'm listening. Come on.
Weddings, funerals, such and such. In recent times, the inflation, cost of living, yada yada, all that. So, let's say people that live their lives through the lenses of social media have a certain generic idea of how they want their wedding to be. Recently, they dropped on Twitter. They dropped
the price list.
Price list. Over 250,000.
Somebody else told me about. I need to go figure see this.
We'll pull it out.
When we're done. Over 250,000 Ghana cedis. How much is that in dollars?
Well, if you divide that by
that's like
12, even if you divide it by 10, that's like 25,000. So between 20 and 25,000.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, for one day.
For one
but y'all
day.
Not one day.
Like
y'all be having like a 2 week.
2 days.
No,
it's 2 days.
2 days.
Thursday, Friday, I gotta have 13 outfits. I gotta see this.
So you see, in our culture, it is expected.
Yeah.
This level of extravagance or this level of opulence. Now, this thing is become a Ghanaian thing. Of course, the Nigerians do it way more than that, way more than us. But it doesn't exclude the fact that there's still that level of extravagance here. My grandmother's funeral, when they told me how much they spent, it really
and she didn't get to see any of that money, huh? She just got it.
So I want to ask, like, the cultural expectations of the wedding, for example, in this particular setting, when you're expected to marry and have a big wedding, have minimum 200 guests, all your aunties and uncles and cousins.
200 guests.
200
Wedding
people.
in Ghana. What country are you living in?
When my cousin got married 2 years ago, when they were doing the budget, when all the aunties and all the uncles came in. And
how much wache is that?
A
A lot of jollof. Okay.
Contributed. They did the budget for 120 people. The 120 people. The guy was supposed to bring 60. The woman was supposed to bring 60. My cousin was supposed to bring 60 people. 120. They did everything. On the day of the wedding,
438.
More than 200 people came.
Of course, because like 200, yeah, I know it's like, if people didn't come cry. Yeah. If people didn't come cry.
I thought it was too much.
I'll have security at the door. Sir, you on the...
No, you can't do that. No, you can't do that.
You
can't do that.
Never.
You see, you can't do that here.
Nah.
Please.
You see?
Please. I don't even know. Who are you? Who are you, literally?
You see, so the question is now...
And did you bring a gift?
No, but they came with a plus one.
For free.
So the question now is now the for example, if you're looking at it within the African context, if for example, if you got married to an African man, if you got married to an Asante man, this is very expected. You would have to fly your family members.
Asante, call me. Okay, go ahead. All the Asante. Okay.
You're gonna have to fly your members here for you to have that.
Yes, he would have to because he got.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, he would have to. Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah. So I want to ask you the cultural expectation of having such grand celebrations. Do you think that could be part of the reason why people would choose to or not to get married?
Well, yes and no. So I believe that if you want to get married, you'll do it the way you can afford and want to anyway. Okay. So I do believe that, so the same people who are having, on one hand, the extravagant Birkin bag weddings, you got people who are just like, we just go to the courthouse. And that's okay for them. Now, what I think is like a second question really to what you just said is as far as the family. Because what I hear you saying is like, I'm supposed to bring 60, you supposed to bring 60. And then great cousin uncles from 5-time removed generation from Senegal has flown in to go. And I don't even know you. Okay, you knew my mom when she was this high. She hasn't seen you since she was 2 years old. I don't even know if you really are cousins. I think you're just a family friend. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Because my mom saw fit, because my uncle saw fit, because my dad saw fit, because my grandmother's friends wanted to come. And so now we have 1,000 people at our wedding, right? So is it more so the family pushing? Because first of all, do I know 60 people that I would want to come to eat my jollof? Like as a person, right? Like just as me. Do I know, can I call, is it 60 people in my phone that first of all, I even want to see on my wedding day? Okay. If that's not a yes, maybe 10 from junior high school, 10 from senior high school, 10 from uni, 10 from my current job, that's 40. 10 outliers, that's 50. So if it becomes what the family wants, that is a cultural tradition thing. Because it's not, I could care less. Me and this, we're doing our thing. Yeah. And so I think it's interesting because African American, like it's the same type of thing. Well, my mom wants blah blah blah, and we gotta have this type of food, and she can't eat fried chicken. We gotta have baked chicken, and then it's like all these people. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. If mom and dad are paying for said wedding, then invite who you want. Like absolutely, you know what I mean. But it's interesting because I think if people just got married for themselves, same thing you said. That's why I made that joke about your grandmother's funeral. The funeral is not for the person in the casket, right? It's for all the people that are coming to celebrate life, one, and also support the people who are still here who are grieving. Same thing with a marriage or a wedding. The two people who are getting married, I mean, y'all should still get married even if your wedding is 2 USD or 2 Ghana cedis, right? Or if you just go to the courthouse. The people who are coming to see you celebrate this union, that's really kind of almost who it's for. Because if I love him, I would still marry him regardless if it was 2 USD, 2 CDs, or 200. So 200,000, as you said, 250,000 actually. But yeah, so I think that's the question, like the underlying question. You know what I mean? Like, is it culture or is it family who has said this is our tradition, this is what we want, and we're supporting you with this guy or with this girl? and so then you have to do it our way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. What are you married or not
Yeah,
married?
she's married.
To who?
Please,
Who am I
please,
married to?
call her. Call both of us. We'll drop our numbers.
In the link in the
okay,
description.
all right,
Yeah.
good job.
Right, so
WhatsApp. What's happening? Okay.
Can you guys share any meaningful cultural to marriage, like cultural or traditional religious practice, related to marriage or like from your background?
I'm sure you have way more than that. Too.
From my family experience, I would say that one thing that I'm really grateful for my parents for is that my parents have a very open relationship, or when it comes to finance, discussing finance.
With the children?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Like at every
Are you surprised?
At every stage, like that we've had money, that we haven't had money, my dad will let you know that, right now, there's no money.
I know that's my dad. We are broke. I don't know
we
if
are
you thought
broke. Yeah.
you was gonna get this 2 pieces of this polo, but you can afford a half of a piece.
Yeah.
Polo. We can't even go to, but we can't afford the trip to go to the mountains to get this polo. I know that's right. Go ahead. I'm listening.
So I think that's one thing that more families should implement. If there's so that like everybody knows that you know what the actual situation.
Right.
You
so
know
you're not
how
expecting
to exactly
some grandiose thing.
Exactly.
For sure.
Yeah, that is one. With regards to I have one question. What do you think about prenup?
I think a prenup only goes into effect if you get a divorce. So I don't see a problem with it. Right?
Okay.
So I put insurance on my house in case a fire happens. Do I want my house to burn down? Absolutely not. Not with all my stuff in there for sure. Or any person in there. But I have insurance. I have life insurance in case something happens to me. Do I want to die at 33? Absolutely not. But in case something happens, I have life insurance. I think that a prenup is in case something happens, and that something is a divorce, which when it comes to joining all your things together, absolutely you should insure, because you insure your car. You know what I mean? Some people have cell phone insurance as much as they pay for them, right? So the only time a prenup comes into effect is if you get a divorce. So I don't see an issue with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have another follow-up question. Sorry.
She's good.
Yeah.
Feel free. On the money.
Feel free.
We'll come back. So in the past 5-10 years, there's been an increase of diasporan babes like yourself coming back to Ghana
to get some grown and sexy African in their life.
And then you migrate with said grown and sexy, tall, dark, handsome back to
call me Asante. Go ahead.
Back to America. And you find that like in cases if the woman is nice, like objectively nice, or if she's thick, like she has a lot of ass, very, very big, you find out usually those are the kinds of women, thick, thick, big, beautiful, bootylicious.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
Come on. Yes.
So you find that there's an increase of such women coming to Ghana to take our men from us. And
your men.
Yes, our men. Our men. And taking them.
Asante called me. She also go ahead.
And taking them to America. I mean, to give them a good life.
I'll take a drink. Go ahead.
Good life and such and such. But I want to double down on this. Could it be that the reason why all of this is happening is because perhaps the choice of words, the category of black men that exist right now in US, Canada, maybe, I'm not saying you're not good, please, maybe they're not up to standard, maybe they're not up to whatever the women there are looking for. So they have to come all the way back to the motherland, come and steal our men.
Steal?
Yes, and then
choice
take
of
them.
Words. Keep going.
And then take them away to diaspora and chill. But yeah, so something like this, do you agree with this practice? Do you think it's something that should be normalized? Do you think it's something that those of us that are still here, we should become more accustomed to, that a rich, nice, thick woman will come and take your boyfriend that you've been dating for 6 years just
I'm like on 3 words you said. Keep going.
Just because you have a US passport. it puts us at a huge disadvantage because you can't compete with that. You can't.
Really?
You can't.
So the
US
first
passport,
thing
nah.
is you said our men.
Yes.
I just want to be clear. We cousins. So your man is my man, honey. I just want, first of all, let's get that out of the way. I don't know what they've been teaching y'all over here.
All right.
But we literally are not.
All right.
Okay. So they're not your men. They're our men.
Our
they just
men.
happen to be born over here.
Okay.
That's first thing.
Okay.
Second thing, this word steal. Okay. Steal is taking something that's not yours. Mm-hmm. If they already my men, I can't steal it. That's the second thing. Okay. The next thing, what was the third thing? You said take away. That was good. But no, so I understand what you're saying in the sense that you can't compete with an American passport, right? And you know, what I think is interesting is like the benefit of being born with certain citizenships. Okay, so if you're born in Canada, UK, America, you know, there's like travel and, you know, the visas, you don't have to like pay no astronomical amount of money to like travel and, you know, go to different places that you know, would like to go to, teaching abroad, things like that. It comes easier. It's the conversation, right, about, you know, people coming to Africa, Black people. I don't even know so much if it's about coming to find romantic relationships, whether it's men coming or women coming. What I think is actually happening is that there's an expansion of learning about Africa, learning about roots, learning about, you know, your people. Because like I said, we pretty much are cousins. Now, I don't know for sure. And the reason I can tell you for sure is because when you said, you know, the Santes was selling some folks and there was some slavery going on, you know, there was some of that happening where colonizers came over and people are, you know, making closed door or even up in front and, you know, in your face deals where, hey, you take this boatload of our cousins, take them here, and maybe we don't know what's about to happen. Maybe they didn't know, you know, what the slave trade would, you know, what would happen. However, you know, you selling people, right? So, and whatever morality or whatever at that time that was going on, that's another conversation. But at the end of the day, I think it's people coming because they want to find out that if factor or that question mark in African Americans' lives, and that's even if they're interested. Because, honey, some African Americans really believe that they from Florida. And that's okay. Yeah. Some Jamaicans really believe that they from Jamaica. So, and that's cool if that's what your belief is. But I know different and I know better and I know the truth. Yeah. And the truth is a Jamaican is the same as a Ghanaian is the same as an African American. That's just where they were bought off. That's where their line of ancestry, you know what I mean? So then they became Jamaican. I became African American because of, you know, maybe my lineage mated over to America. You know, they were slaves, they were sharecroppers, and that's just my history. And as far back, that's all I know because I missed that part across the Atlantic Ocean, right? We don't have the records to say that, you know, for real, we are cousins and you know what I mean? So I don't think it's more so that they're coming to take the men or the women, right? I think they're coming and then they get here and it's like, whoa, everybody look like me. I'm trying to, hey. And then of course, when you get over here, y'all eating fufu and banku and goosey and polo, and it's like yam chips. I want me some yam chips. I don't want none of that, you know, French fry stuff. They've been lying to me my whole life. The real French fry is the yam chip, okay? And so when you get here and you have that experience, it's almost like a culture shock. Like when I was 10 going to Senegal for the first, it was like, I literally was at the airport like, whoa, like everybody really, I think that was like the first thing I said, everybody looks like me when we got off the plane. And for a 10-year-old, obviously as a 30-year-old, is very different in the sense that now I have read some books, now I've had some discussions with people, but really it's coming to find out that question mark about, and then you get over here and absolutely y'all want a man from, you know, the motherland. Absolutely, if African American man he wants a woman from the motherland, right? Absolutely. So yeah, I think that's more so what it is. And because Black people are traveling more, so you see more coming over. And Ghana was the first to do the year of their return. So of course you're gonna see more in Ghana. Now y'all offering citizenships and everything. Asante called me.
You know, I actually want to add that, you know, within sub-Saharan Africa, West African men are actually the most prized.
Really?
Yeah, not because of they're fine or anything. No, it's because of let me say, the way our culture teaches us. The culture brings up the young men or the young boys to, you know, take care of the women. Like, do everything that she asks for. Like, you are responsible for her this, her that, her that. And you see it in, like, the young Ghanaian boys. Now, I want to compare it to South African men.
Okay.
Back in Shanghai, my experience, we're living with a very small demographic. I'm not going to describe them here because I don't think that is necessary. But based on the experience that the Southern African girls at that time had with their own Southern African counterparts, they moved to date the West African men primarily because they happen to be more nurturing and more giving and generally more generous. I mean, I can't lie about it. It is what is there. They say that the truth is one. You can only say the one truth, and that is a true thing. So I feel like in addition to what you're saying, perhaps the other reason why there has been an increase in this particular activity is because of this particular fact that when you get to know or when you get to date a Ghanaian man and see how sweet or generous he is.
Okay, we talking about Côte d'Ivoire. You talking about just Ghana?
No, West Africa. West African men.
All right, West.
Yeah, West African men. And I would say Nigerians are the most generous. And Ghanaian men are the most nurturing. And the Francophones are the most romantic.
Really?
Yes, really.
Okay. Like, seems like you have experience with all these kinds of men.
Don't say it like
and then that's when we look in the camera and we point it directly at her face to see.
Don't say it like that.
Do tell your story. Or is that for another time?
We have more time, we'll discuss it. Yeah. So I think we're done, right?
No, definitely not done. Keep going.
So for the Francophones, that experience was when I went to school, Regional Maritime University. So Regional Maritime, at the time I went there, majority of the students are Francophones. It's 5 countries. It's Ghana, Gambia, Sierra Leone, Cameroon, and some other I've forgotten. Liberia, yes, Liberia.
Oh wow.
So these 5 countries nationals come to Regional Maritime, and at the time, the boys were more than the girls. So yeah, so you have a lot of Francophone guys, and they're Riz.
Francophone. Wait, explain what
Francophone.
This term.
Anglophone, Francophone. So when the scramble of Africa. Yeah.
When the colonial masters were dividing the continent.
Yes. So at that time, France was a leading power, right?
So you're talking about who colonized too?
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. Now, so countries that were colonized by France are Francophone, and countries that were colonized by England or Anglophone countries. Yes.
Yeah. No, I got you on the Anglo.
Yes, exactly.
We know the Anglo-Saxon.
Exactly. That's why I know so much about this. And Nigerians are Nigerians, and Ghanaians. I've known Ghanaians my whole life.
Okay, your whole life, not half. Your whole life.
So yeah, that's just by the way. That's just by the way. And I think we should answer the final question that Abeku mentioned about what practices.
What was the question?
Yeah, like, can you share any meaning, cultural, traditional, religious practice related to marriage?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I have one more question. Do you ever see yourself getting married?
Yes.
Oh,
I do.
nice.
I do believe that at some point in life it will happen. It took me a while to kind of get there. I actually dated a Ghanaian in China when I was teaching, and I think so that relationship got me to the point where it was like, oh yeah, I would like to be a wife.
You see what I said, Ghanaian men.
Well, I didn't say he was so calm.
He wasn't Ghanaian. Oh, he wasn't Ghanaian.
No, he was Ghanaian, but you giving him a lot of extra credit. Bring him back. That's not what you call me. Y'all know. But just the relationship made it like, okay, this is something I should explore. You know, regardless if we stay together or what have you. And we were friends first and everything. And so, so I definitely believe now. Now, before, so my experience had been, first of all, Nigerians are taking over the world. They're everywhere. So I had a lot more interactions with Nigerians. And, I'll just save my opinion for off camera. And so with that being said, it was just like, oh, okay, whatever, just like an African American, whatever. And I have only dated, diasporan men. So we only going dark skin over here. And so, and it was just like, I don't really see, there hasn't been a person that has like changed my mind, where it's like, I need to get into a long-standing legal, you know what I mean? Like, no one made me feel like that was a thing I really needed to look into or research or anything until I dated him. And I was like, okay, well, even if we don't work out, now I feel like I'm ready. So it could have been maturity. It could have been being in the middle of China. Okay, don't recommend that. So it could have been a lot of things that played into, my mind changing. But so I definitely see myself getting married. What about you?
Me. Eventually.
Yeah, one day.
One day.
Like,
yeah,
you have
I
time.
See that.
Yeah, don't rush it.
Oh, it's not about time per se. Like my mate, my juniors, my colleagues.
Okay. Come on, Kylie.
Have and are getting married now. And
Same.
Yeah, and even with my family, I mentioned like 2 years ago, my cousin got married. She has a kid now, and this December I'm going for my younger cousin's wedding. So obviously,
so they're waiting on you.
Yes, there's a lot of pressure. Every time I call my mom is like, so when am I going to introduce my boyfriend? I know you're getting older. You have to settle down.
You have to.
There's a lot of pressure.
There's that a culture, lot of pressure. Yeah. Traditional, family dynamic thing going on. But no. So what was your because you said did we have any to share as far as
like any meaningful cultural, traditional, religious practice?
No, we don't have. Not over here, honey. I don't. I can only speak for what I've seen and none, zero.
Don't live with your in-laws.
Why is that a big deal?
It's a huge deal.
Really?
No.
Don't live. Oh, you mean like don't move in with them?
Yeah, don't move in with them. No.
So, but they can move in with.
No, don't live with your in-laws. It just
either way, it's whether you're moving in or they are moving in.
Like live separately. You and your husband have to figure out what works for you, how you be together.
You know what? This should be a whole topic on its own. Like, I want to delve more into this. Like, but why? Why though?
In-laws.
And the family.
Okay, I had a very bad experience growing up. Very, very bad experience.
Oh, your moms or dad, somebody's came to live with y'all?
In-law. Okay. So perhaps for me.
So your grandparents.
Your grandparents. So your dad's parents or your mom's parents came to live.
My parents were living with. No, my mom and dad were living with my dad's parents.
So your grandparents.
Yes, my grandparents. Yeah. Yes.
And that didn't go well.
No, that didn't go well.
Okay.
And subsequent family experiences around that.
Okay.
Yeah. So personally, living with your in-laws is a no-no. That would never happen for me.
I think it just depends on the relationship.
Yeah. I don't mind. I mean, like, you're always welcome. Stay.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, my mom cannot come.
Why?
No.
But what about your partner's mom?
If the relationship dynamic is...
Wait, you said your mom can't come?
No. Because, I mean, I wouldn't live with my mom by myself. So definitely, I'm not going to live with her with my husband. And she can't come live with me by herself. So definitely she can't come live with me and my husband. No.
Wow.
We're not doing that. But that's our dynamic. Right? So I think it depends on the relationship dynamic. And we don't have any customs or, they say you have to wear white. That was one thing I wanted to bring up.
White for what?
White
for your wedding. When you
not necessarily. No, not necessarily. You can
With the
pick your own
traditional
colors.
marriage,
So I'm talking about American tradition.
okay.
Oh, okay,
You know,
okay.
here, of course, you have different
Okay.
kentes and cloths and all
Yeah.
that. Yeah, no. But you know, I mean, they always want you to wear white, and I'm like, I'm definitely gonna wear black.
Okay, that's a statement.
That's
I mean,
a rebel,
it's my favorite color, first of all. But I'm just saying, I'm like,
You're a rebel.
so everybody wearing white, definitely wearing black for sure.
All right, so this is where we wrap up this episode. Do you have any last remarks?
Oh
Okay, you
no.
guys have spoken.
Do you have any last questions that we didn't
No.
answer because we kept going off?
No, another
other
episode.
topics?
No tangent.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment,
Thank
like,
you.
and subscribe.
Share. Bye.
Thank you for having us.